Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope the day is going wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am super excited to share with you a couple of projects using two of the clubs over at Spellbinders. First we're going to create two projects using both of these for both projects. Now this is the Clear Stamp and Die of the Month Club Kit. It's the stamp set. I don't know if you can hear the train, I'm sorry about that. But it has a coordinating die set, so there's an option there. But if you want a fussy cut or have a scan and cut and just want the Clear Stamp of the Month club, that's available at Spellbinders also. So I'll leave both of the clubs down below as far as the stamp or the stamp and die club go, okay? And every month, this year I will be creating a project every month with this club. Now, I'm excited to share with you a brand new club for Spellbinders. This is the embossing folder of the month club. Spellbinders, it's a brand new club over at Spellbinders. And I think it's pretty genius, the size of this embossing folder. Let me show you let me take it off the package here. But you see it's a good size. This is a standard size embossing folder, so you can see the size difference. This is actually 8 3/4 inches long by 5 3/4 inches wide. So it's I would say almost double duty, which is really, really nice because not with this particular pattern because the hearts go up and down, but for the most part, if you wanted to do a horizontal or vertical card, with your embossing folder, you could do that with this. You could do slim lines, you could do mini slim lines, you could do of course, your A2 or 5x7 and any kind of square card. So I think this size is just like the perfect universal size for an embossing folder. And every month, I'm gonna try every month with my Clear Stamp and Die of the Month club, create two projects at the same time with both of these clubs. Kind of pull double duty in one video for you guys. But I am super excited about this month's embossing folder. It's called Spreading Love. And we're going to use this on both the projects today. And then we're also going to be using the One Love, One Heart stamp set. And again, this is an option. You can get the club just with the stamp set or the stamp and die, which I'll be creating with. So let's jump in and get started. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to do a little heat embossing. So let's grab some red cardstock, and I'm going to grab my Misty, and we're going to do a little heat embossing for our first card. The hearts in here are really pretty, guys. Let me show you. Aren't they so pretty? I just love these. And for my first card, I'm going to be stamping this one here with the leaves. And so we'll grab that. I'm going to stamp it on some red cardstock. This cardstock is from Spellbinders and it is Pomegranate. We're going to put this in our Misty. Since we're heat embossing, I'm going to treat my paper with my anti-static powder. And then we'll add our pretty floral. Pick it up with the lid of our Misty. And then we're going to go ahead and, okay, now we're going to go over our heart image with Watermark Ink, our Watermark Ink. And we're going to stamp this to make a good impression. And I even love the tone on tone with the Watermark Ink. I just think it's so pretty. I'm going to go ahead and take my heart, you can kind of see the watermark, and I'm going to go over this with some white embossing powder. Kind of tap off the excess here, and then we'll heat up our heat gun. Okay, and I just think that is really pretty. And then we're going to go ahead and stamp our other image too. But this time we're going to use white cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the Misty. And for this image we're going to use the one with the flowers on it. I think this is really pretty. And I'll put this down here, maybe at an angle. And then I'm also going to stamp. There's single flowers that coordinate with the flowers that are on here. And then also in your stamp set, this flower right here is the same exact size here as this one. So you could layer if you wanted to. So let's go ahead and ink up this heart, but this time instead of using Watermark ink, I'm going to use my VersaFine ink. It's an ink that will stay sticky, and I'm going to go over this image with clear embossing powder. Okay, we'll grab our clear. Go over our single flower, tap off the excess, and then we'll zap this with a heat gun. Really pretty. Okay, we'll set this aside, and we're going to do a little coloring. Now I'm going to use my Prismacolors to color in my images today, and the coloring is super basic. We're going to start off with our red cardstock. And we're going to take our blue pencil, and I'm going to go over the leaves, and I'm going to go over it kind of heavy, but believe it or not, you can really see that blue on this cardstock with the pencil. You can see here. Isn't that so pretty? Okay, now for our white panel that we heat embossed with our clear embossing powder, I'm going to take the red pencil, and I'm just using the Prismacolor, the 12 count set. This works really great, and it's not that expensive. I'm going to go ahead and color in our flowers with the red, and then there's a little heart. We'll color that in red. Now the rest of the little leaves that are in here, I'm going to go over it with my blue. It looks like I might need to sharpen my pencil. And I love the way this turned out. I think this turned out really pretty too, guys. Okay, we'll put this aside. Oh, you know what I forgot? My little flower add-on right here. Let's color that in real fast. So here we go. Okay. Now this is going to be for one card, this is going to be for another card. We're going to go ahead and take the coordinating dies, and we're going to die cut out our hearts and our flowers. Okay, I went ahead and die cut, and I also went ahead and heat embossed and colored in one more of this flower along with the smaller add-on flower, and then two more of the red and white heat embossed. So I just colored it in. We're going to use these for one card and then these for another. So we're going to go ahead and set those aside, and let's work on our first card. First card, I'm going to take some white cardstock. Then we're going to take our embossing folder, and I'm going to actually trim this down, so it's going to leave me, I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off of my panel, so it measures 3 3/4 inches wide by 5 1/2 tall. Okay, and then we'll put this through our embossing folder and run this through our die cutting machine. Okay, and it embossed beautifully. You can kind of see the arches in the panel here. I'm going to go ahead and flip this around, and I'm going to use my tape runner. And we're going to add this right down the middle of our card base. I'm using the same color card base that we used when we did our heat embossing. So this is Pomegranate. It's going to leave me about 1/4 inch on the left and the right of my card base. Perfect. You can see the embossed detail, which is really pretty. Okay, I'm going to grab some foam squares, and then we're going to go ahead and pop up our hearts And we're going to fill in our background with some hearts. I'm not sure of the placement just yet, so I'm not going to press down on my popped up hearts. Maybe there. Okay, we're going to press down really good. Any excess overhanging, we're going to use our scissors and trim off. There's just a little bit over here. Okay, now we're going to stamp our sentiment. I'm going to go ahead and take some white cardstock, and let's, if I can find some here. And then we'll take the coordinating banners. I'm going to die cut out a couple banners for our sentiments. The sentiments are going to fit perfectly in here. So I'm going to run these through my die cutting machine. So I'm going to pick these up with some of my acrylic blocks. And we're going to stamp our sentiment with VersaFine ink. Hopefully, I'm going to stand up so I can get this straight. And this one again says, I adore you. Lovely. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp another sentiment for my next card. And I think we're going to stamp here, one love, one heart. I'm going to just use I adore you. So let's just add some adhesive here. Good deal. I think that's just what I need. Just something a little simple. Okay, now we're going to add some gems in just a minute. We're going to go ahead and work on our next card. For my next card, we're going to use the die that we used to cut out our let me grab it here. We're going to use our die that we used to cut out our hearts. Now I want to create kind of a valley, so I'm going to offset this just a little bit. And I'm going to run this through my die cutting machine. Okay, now once we have this heart cut, I want to go ahead and take this next heart and I'm going to go ahead, tack that down, and then run this through my die cut machine. Okay, I kept the negative piece. We're going to do a little surgery here, but there's a method to my madness. Let's go ahead and put our puzzle pieces back, but we're going to do it on the backwards side here. Okay, and maybe one more here, so it's easy to pick up. Okay, so there is, it's not perfect, but that's okay. Next, we're going to take our embossing folder. I'm going to put my panel in here. And then we're going to run this through the die cutting machine. And you know, I didn't mention this before, but you guys only need your top cutting plate when you run these through your die cutting machine, which is really nice, and at least a platinum 6. So you just need one of your plates. Okay, once this is embossed, we can now remove those hearts. We don't need those no more anymore. Carefully. And I'm not worried if the little tape is left over on the back. Okay, the reason I taped it down because I wanted the pattern to look continuous. Next, we're going to take our card base, which is a standard A2 size card base. And I'm going to go ahead and use some foam adhesive. Okay, once I have adhesive adhered behind my embossed cardstock, we're going to remove the release paper. And then we're going to put this back in its home on our card base. Kind of line up the bottom edges. And then we'll do the same to the top. Let's flip it around. Ooh, that's kind of pretty like that, guys. Oh, maybe we'll leave it like that. I kind of like that. Let's see. You know, I kind of like it, the two-tone. Let's leave the two-tone. I'm going to go ahead and open up my card and trim off the excess. Yeah, I like that. Now again, this is popped up on the bottom. And then the top is just plain. I'm going to go ahead and flip over my flowers. And we'll add some adhesive behind here. And I need to do 2 more flowers, so I'm going to do that real fast, and I'll come right back. Okay, I went ahead and colored in 2 more flowers. We're going to add some foam tape behind those as well. Let's just remove the release paper all at once. And then we're going to go ahead and add these over our existing flowers for a little dimension. And I love dimension. And I like the way that's turning out. Okay. For bells and whistles, I'm just going to bring in some of my Color Central gems. I'm using the red. I'm going to grab my Tool-in-One. And I definitely want to dot the center of these flowers with my largest red gem. We'll do our last one here. And then we're going to add a little bit of the tiny ones. Tiny ones are a little bit hard to grab, but you know what? They are probably my favorite. I lost it. Okay. Then we'll add a couple over here. And so these are my projects today, guys, using the Spellbinders Clear Stamp and Die of the Month Club Kit, and also the Embossing Folder of the Month Club Kit. I hope you enjoyed my projects. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.